I am excited to be sharing with you and introducing you to my friend Kari. We met virtually last year in I think July period, and she's had huge success in the digital space. She introduced me to this online business model, and I could not be more grateful um, to know her and to be in this business model and this community. And I wanted to share this opportunity with you guys of how this business runs and how it could bless you and your family. So this is my friend Kari. She is from Minnesota, and she's a dear Christian friend that I wanted to her to share her story. And so, Kari, can you tell us a little bit about your life and what it was like before you started the Legacy Builders Blueprint? Excuse me.
Okay, yes. And honestly, yeah, this has literally changed my life for the better. I am so grateful that I found this and plugged in, but yes, my life was very different before I found this, and it started quite a while back, about, 12 years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. My ex walked out because he didn't think that was very much fun anymore and left me with a house in foreclosure, three little kids, and it was rough. I was working a full-time job, but I was not obviously prepared to take on the mortgage all by myself. And so when that wasn't enough, I got a second job. And when that wasn't enough, I got a third job. And I was literally at my wit's end. I felt like I was failing as a mom, telling my kids we were going to have to cut out some of their beloved activities. And yet it was the night that my youngest daughter, Amelie, um, when I told them we were cutting out everything, uh, I just saw the fear in their eyes, and they were quiet. They didn't say a word, but I could just see that I was basically it was awful as a mom. So I ran to the bathroom and I was crying my eyes out into the towel until I heard a little knock, and I opened the door, and there she was at 7 years old, and she said, "Mom, we are going to be okay. I have lots of things for us to sell for money." And she had packed a little suitcase with all her earthly treasures, her books and Barbies and her, painted rocks and seashells. And she was determined to, get our family out of the situation that we were in. And that was the night that I surrendered everything to God. I was just like, oh my goodness, I've been trying more, working harder, and I can't continue, and it's still not working. So I remember that night I was just on my knees after the kids went to bed and gave him control, because I'm a very much like, this is how I want it to be, and can you bless my ways, Lord? But I was learning that that was not a good way to be. So I just gave him everything. I said, "You can have my business, my house, my kids, my life." And literally from that day on, things started to change. I set out looking for passive income, tried 21 different things over the last you know, decade. There was nothing that worked the way that this has. This has been the easiest by far thing I've ever done, and I have done a lot of things. And I am just still blown away at the goodness of God. But that's for all of us. Like, that's just not for me. I really had to believe that He had a plan, He had a purpose, and it was good. And so because of all the things that I've tried in the past, I've been burned. I am very guarded. I was very skeptical when I saw my friend doing this, a friend from church, and I was like, okay, I know where you live, and if this doesn't work, like, I'm gonna show up at your house. I'm gonna, but like, it did. It really, really did. And so, yeah, I started last May. I made one post on May 6th, and God has blown my mind. Um, I was so skeptical that I didn't even tell my husband. I am remarried. Didn't tell my husband, my three kids, or my parents. But it was super, super fun to reveal after 30 days that I had made over $50,000 and then went on to make six figures in 67 days. And it's just been the biggest blessing. And I love sharing the hope, the opportunity that this can bring to literally anyone. You do not have to have a business background, a marketing background. There are regular, everyday people plugging into this and doing really, really well. And that's what makes me super excited is helping others.
Yes, awesome. So, what was it about the digital marketing legacy builders blueprint that made you did take the leap?
Well, the business model is very intriguing to me. The master resale rights. I have, been a business coach in the past. I have helped other women design their own signature programs. I know how long that takes to get up and running. I know the amount of marketing you have to do, the amount of research that has to go into this. Is this offer that they are trying to create going to sell? Is it going to do well? Well, this is actually a proven model. We see that time and time again, and it's 90% done for you. I am not a techie person. I was a little skeptical about like, can I actually really set up my own website? But oh my gosh, they make it so plug and play. And, the 2 hours a day on average, is very appealing to me because I was still working full time. I had a lot on my plate. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. But like all of that combined, there's so much that's done for us. The hooks and the content and the training. And, I was just getting a little bit burnt out on Facebook. So just opening up new worlds of marketing that I hadn't ever tried before has been really exciting. And I've been loving what I'm learning. The supportive community is mind-blowing. So this actually was the fifth program with master resale rights that I purchased. The other four, it was a bummer, because I would get into them and I'm like, oh, wow, there is no support here. There was even a kingdom one that I was really thinking this was the answer to everything that I was looking for. And there wasn't even one single call a month. And so just there was, the level of support, the level of heart that Michelle has. I think what really set me over the edge was there was one call that I was on. I don't attend a ton of them live, but she was on it for over 6 hours. And I was like, what on earth? Like, who does this? This is a person who loves our community and wants us to succeed. Like, that is insane. So I was just completely overwhelmed by number one, the support, the training, and then, especially how everyday people, welders, grandmas are doing really, really well with this program. So combined, I was like, okay, let's give this a try. I couldn't not.
Yeah, so it was basically a no-brainer, right?
It was. After I got past my skepticism, yes, it was.
Yeah. So you found like it checked all the boxes for you.
Gosh, and more. Yeah, boxes I didn't even know I had.
Yes. So that leads to my next question. Um, what do you love most about the digital growth community?
Most. I mean, I just feel like the majority of us you know, well, globally, I was going to say in this country, but it's globally, we are looking for more. We feel like we're made for more. We know that God has placed that abundant mindset in our hearts, in our minds, and yet most of the time, it's hard to like I kept thinking, oh, I'd be further ahead by now. I wanted to do more for my kids, more for our families, more memories, more help, just pouring into others. And I wasn't able to do that. I was doing well, but I was like, I still feel like I'm made for more. And so to have basically be given a business in a box that so much is done for us, and so it is adding another income stream, but it's not like, and most jobs take, 20, 30, 40 hours a week. Like this is something that people can plug into. There is so much that's done for you. And I just know, like I know that if a person plugs in, if they stay consistent, if they do what they're teaching us to do, that they are going to succeed. And so that's the confidence that I have in this program that I've never had in anything else that I've done.
Yes. So for you, it's definitely about this could be for anybody. So you have the confidence of being able to share this authentically and knowing that sky's the limit for anybody that invest in their future, right?
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah. So be what have what has this business how has this business changed your life?
Oh gosh, I feel like number one, it's given me so much peace. And I know that, God is our provider and that everything that he has for us, I literally should just have peace. But I've been through a lot of just financial instability, and the security that this program has given me through, numbers in my bank account and just like the level of peace of mind that I can, continue to bring in really good money. That is just amazing and beautiful. And, the way it's changed our lives, the way it's opened up opportunities for most of all, like it's memories. I feel like I worked so hard when my kids were little to their detriment, honestly. Like I I feel like I want to make up for that. And so, when my husband and I were talking about how do we do that? Because they're teens, they're 18, 19, and 21. So I'm like, How do we do this? I mean, it's time together, but it's vacations. And for us, it was a boat. We live in Minnesota, so we got to make the most out of our summers. And how do we bring everyone together? And I'm like, it was my husband's idea initially, but I got on board pretty quickly. And, it was a boat and being able to take that on vacation, to different places and, just pouring also into their dreams. And dreams that God has placed on my heart. Like I feel like I've always been wanting to be a giver, but obviously, as a single mom and living in that house, like I was barely making ends meet. I couldn't give to, you know, issues and things that God put on my heart. I'm like, I knew I would someday, but like, giving to missionaries and rescuing girls out of sex trafficking and, those things that are really, really important to me. I literally didn't have that. And, you and I love Jim Baker, and, he said one of the poorest ways to help the poor is to be poor. And so I'm like, I'm not. I don't want to be poor. I really have a huge heart to help others, and it takes money to make that happen. It's, not for Louis Vuitton bags and, fancy shoes. It's literally because I feel like God made me with a heart to help, and this has been the vehicle to help me fulfill that.
I love that. I love that. So not only has the income blessed your family, but it's about being able to do what God has called you to do and not have to ask your bank account.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Break those chains that, yeah, keep us in bondage and yeah, have more income but more impact in this world. Bringing heaven to earth is really what's the biggest thing on my heart.
Oh, I love that. So if if someone was looking into this and they were curious and they had questions, what kind of advice would you have for them?
I was in that spot, and so I certainly understand. And so I think for all of us, just having that heart of I believe in this, but also I'm here for all your questions. And I know you're like this too, Susan, but like I watched my friend for over 4 months and I was like, I don't quite understand. But I was also too scared to ask because I thought she was gonna like give me this huge sales pitch and try and make me buy something that I didn't want to buy. But I would literally just say, I know people have questions about that. Ask them. This may be for you, and it also may not be, but just ask your questions so that you can make the best decision for you and then pray. Like, ask God too, do you want me to do this? If it's a yes, He's going to help you figure it out. He's going to give you the provision for that vision. But, like, and if it's a no, then awesome. So grateful to have that clarity from God. So just don't be afraid to ask your questions to fully understand the opportunity, the ins, the outs, everything, so that you can make a great decision for you and your family.
Yes, I love that. I know that's what you provided for me. I asked lots of questions before I came in, and uh, I was more skeptical about, more having more information. Like, what else am I going to learn that I don't already know? But I was
Yep.
blown away. And it's not just about the information, it's about the transformation, the mindset coaching, and the leadership inside our community is phenomenal.
Agreed. Yep.
And, I jumped on one of your webinars. That was, I think that's another thing just to add into that is jump on one of our webinars to hear from others. And the founder of the Legacy Builders program, she shares and pours out to us on a daily basis. Um, so, is there anything else you would like to add? Any closing thoughts, Kari?
I think that for so many of us, we have these big dreams, especially as little girls, and that we're going to do so much for the world, for the kingdom. And then somewhere along the way, we maybe lose ourselves. We're like reality sets in, logic sets in, and yet, I just want to keep encouraging you to dream big, dream with God, go after the impossibilities with him because that's who he is. There's no hopeless circumstances. There's only people without hope. And when we look to him, oh my gosh, yeah, there's just so much goodness. So if you feel like, I keep trying things and it doesn't work, like I just want you to continue to have hope because of who we serve and the good father, the good friend, the provider, the protector that he is. And so, yeah, if anything, keep renewing your mind, be in the word, surround yourself with amazing, supportive people who also love the Lord, but are encouraging you to stay in hope in him. And yeah, it's gonna be good. If you can get into that spot, it's going to be good.
Yes, yes. He's a big, big God and he wants to take care of us. And our part is to believe and to dream with him and to receive those open doors, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's always going to be scary. New things are always scary. So just, if you're like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? I want to, but I'm scared. Like, fear is never from God. That's from the enemy. He knows the chains that are going to be broken when you are walking in more abundance because we can help ourselves, our family, the kingdom, others, people around the world with more money.
Well, Carrie, you're such an encouragement. I just thank you so much for pouring in to us today and all your wisdom. And so thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.